UFC 314. UFC just went crazy with a whole bunch of new announcements. Everybody already knows. I'm a little behind. But we won't get to talking about it because I have some thoughts, some feelings about this one right here, okay? Obviously, hold on. Obviously, we have this. Boom, boom, cool. I'm going to be honest. They all piss me off. I tend to find myself in a minority. I tend to realize that I don't think I really want what most UFC fans want. I don't know why that is. I think I just build my own narratives in my head. Lopes and Volkanovski are both likable, right? We can agree, right? I'm not the only one thinking that, right? They're both likable. They're both cool. We want to see both of them succeed, right? If Movsar and Diego Lopes were to run it back, I think it'd be fair to say the majority of the fan base would be rooting for Lopes. That's partly on Movsar, not so much just on Lopes, but either way, we like him, right? Volk's likable. You see, I'm a big advocate of immediate rematches, right? For people who deserve it. I think that's been a staple for champions that deserve it, and I like the trend of it. I don't like this new trend where everybody likes to immediately deny long-reigning champions their right to immediate rematches. And I'm not talking about the company. I'm talking about fans, where they're immediately like, I don't want to see that fight again. He needs to fight another one. Why in the fuck would Volkanovski have to fight Movsar to get another shot at Ilya? What sense does that make? What would be the purpose of being a company man and fighting 3 times a year as a champion and taking up fights on 10 days' notice against the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world if all you're going to do is get punished for it? It's the same reason why I'm not mad at the UFC for giving Izzy the shot against Duplessis. Was he the most in line? No. But what would be the point of being a company man if you don't get rewarded for it? You risk your shot, your title, your health. Everybody else just enjoys. They go on vacations. They enjoy their belt. They run around. Woo, woo. Everybody complains, oh, they only fight once a year. 1 year merchant, whatever. But then when you're a company man, and as soon as you lose, now it's like, okay, back of the line. Well, what's the point if you don't get rewarded? You scratch my back, I scratch yours, right? Izzy did that for years. He carried the company, not just in fights. You got to understand, these guys carry it as a brand. It's the brand. You know what I mean? He lost the belt. He got it right back. Boom. He lost it again immediately. Shouldn't get another title shot. The payoff for being a company man is there's a big fight that everybody wanted. If they don't give it to you now, it might not happen. They give it to you, and there's no clear line of succession. There was no Hamzat, there was no Imavov, and there was no Kyle Borhayo. I can't really say his name that well. In line. Now they're all like boom, 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 boom in line. They weren't in line at that point. They were like right about to get in line. They were all about to just run through Cannonier and then get in line, right? Vogt 100% deserved a rematch, bro. He beat his division before he got to be the champion. Then he cleared it out afterwards. And then he lost a close fight to Islam and then a 10 days notice fight against Islam. Saving a major card, an Abu Dhabi card, bro. You know what that means to the UFC when you save an Abu Dhabi card. You need to get a favor. Right? And then he gets knocked out right after. He shouldn't have took the fight. That is his fault. And it's his team's fault. He should have just been like, we'll postpone it. And then we'll make could have done another interim if you wanted. Ilya versus that's before 300. Ilya versus Yair and Ortega had just fought at UFC Mexico. Max was fighting in 300. He just beat Emmett. Allen had just fought Movsar at. Well, I think he was fighting him at that same. Well, I think they were fighting on that same card, 298. So he could have bumped up Allen. It would have been Allen. He would have just knocked him out, or Movsar. That'd have been a better fight. Or you could have just postponed it and put. It doesn't matter. You could have figured something out. But it looks like UFC was gonna give him the fight, no matter what, which is good. It looks like this was gonna be Volk versus Topuria, which would have made sense. But now, it's a cool fight. Don't get me wrong. It's a very interesting fight, no doubt about it. And I really wanted Volk to get his title shot, and even at in the beginning, right after he lost, I wanted him to win his fight against Topuria. I thought Max was gonna win. Then after seeing what Topuria could do for the division and for the UFC, being able to clear these guys out, I was like, you know what? If he's able to beat both these guys up, maybe he has a chance against Islam. Because if he can't beat Volk, a healthy Volk, he can't beat Islam. If you don't have the tools to beat Volk, you don't have the tools to beat Islam. It's just the way it is. So I was like, you know what? Maybe hopefully they can just get this deal done so he can get past him, and we can move to either a Lopes or a Mobstar. There's a lot of fun fights for Ilya. He ruined it. I don't want to say I'm not excited about this, but I'm not. If Volk wins, I hate that though. I hate that. It should not be any less exciting if Volk wins the belt again. I really like Volk. I wanted him to win the belt again at first, but now it's I think I just don't like it like this. You know, like here's the belt. And you could tell when you watch the live stream, the Dana White live stream, he's not happy about this. The way he was talking about Ilya, he said, Ilya feels like he's done all he can do. He cemented his legacy. You could tell he doesn't really love this, right? Just give the belt back to the hungry folk beneath you. I think there's something else with Ilya we just don't understand in his mind. It's not the weight cut. It's not the weight cut. Or maybe it is. But you're 5'6", and you're not like particularly huge or imposing. Like I could see you being bigger than Volk. Like you kind of have a more muscular, kind of bigger than Volk. Volk also said he was like 180 something when he fought Islam. But everybody's body composition is different. They lose weight differently. Cool, whatever. But now you're gonna be a 5'6". You were just a little heavy for 45. Now you're gonna be a 5'6", not super heavy 55er, and you're gonna fight Islam. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I just gotta see his body like next to like Armin. Because Armin's only 5'7", and it seems like Armin's a bit bigger, but we'll see. Not gonna lie though, there's a lot of exciting matchups for Ilya. Probably even more than at featherweight. At lightweight, Ilya can fight, and I don't like how this. Can I do this? Yeah. At lightweight, he can fight Armin, banger, Oliveira, banger, Gaethje, banger. Sorry if I'm like popping this mic. Poirier, banger, Hooker, banger, Chandler, banger. You see what I'm saying? Because when you go up, you don't have to worry about, he's not going to fight too far. Now, granted, he probably won't fight too far down. But let's just say, Topuria versus Jalen Turner. Is that not a banger? 6'3" Jalen Turner versus 5'6" Topuria. Topuria is a crisp record, but Jalen Turner is 6'3". Is that not an interesting matchup? Is it the most? No, but I'm just saying, if you go all the way to 13, it's not that. It's not that bad. If you go all the way to 13 at featherweight, well, we saw that. It actually was not a bad fight. I'm not even gonna lie about that. But it was never gonna happen though. Like obviously, he was never gonna fight him. If Aljamain was going for the belt, maybe, but I feel like they're kind of close. There's some interesting matchups, but like Yair is like, come on, we know what's gonna happen. Ortega, we know what's gonna happen. This is probably the most interesting matchup. This would have been an interesting matchup. We saw these two. Allen, to be honest, I think we kind of already have an idea. Emmett, we saw that. It wasn't super competitive. There's some people coming up. Ige, did we see that? No, we didn't, but we know how that would go. Cater, we know how that would go. Mitchell was actually a pretty good fight. But if you go to lightweight, these are fights that could happen. Depending on how people are matched up, the Turner one's not going to happen. I went to literally the worst, like the bottom example, just to show how much depth there is. Paddy Pimblett. Okay. Fiziev. Rafael Fiziev. Muay Thai, Tiger Muay Thai instructor versus, come on, bro. Hanato Moicano. And I'm thinking about promos, selling it, and the actual fight. Benil, Mateus Gamrot could be a good fight. He could be like the Mobstar 55 for him. Chandler, that would just be a war. That would be like him versus Emmett. I think it would go the exact same way. Except Michael Chandler might bring out his wrestling. He might try. Hooker, CTE. We saw this. He probably would knock out Hooker, but Poirier. I mean, he probably knocks out everybody, but Poirier, Gaethje, Oliveira. Now Oliveira, for some reason, I feel like him and Oliveira would just be a weird fight. Like, just I don't know. I just think I just have a feeling it wouldn't be like action. Like it wouldn't be like him versus Holloway. It just wouldn't be banger, just to the death. Like we might think it could be, but I just feel I don't know why. I just have the idea that Oliveira's his range and his striking style versus Poirier's type boxing would just end up the striking, clashing, coming to a clinch, end up like grappling a lot. I just don't think it'd be super frenetic, but I could be wrong. And then Arman would just pose a lot of problems for Poirier. Same problems Islam would. Now here's my thing. What do we think he's gonna fight? Right? Ariel Helwani's saying he's gonna fight Islam. A little weird. No, you beat one top 5 guy at featherweight, right? I think he was top 5 when he beat Emmett. Then you win the belt and defend it, right? Great year, of course. So 3 top 5 wins total, including 1 defense and 1 win. And then you get to fight for the next belt? After you give up the belt? Like, even Pereira had to fight, you know? Like, and Pereira didn't have a defense, but like, come on, bro. If they give him the title shot, that's just dumb. I like, to be honest, I like what I want is I want Arman Tsarukyan to fight Islam. I don't want him to be penalized. They already said he is. I get it. I just really wish that fight would have happened. I just hate when it doesn't go. Like, why does it always have to happen in the UFC? I just wish the fight would have happened. Arman's the only one I want to see fight Islam. Charles is literally, and he's the number 2 person I'd want to see him fight, because I think a better looking Charles could pose a problem for Islam, but I just don't know if he's getting it done. And we've seen that a lot more recently than Arman. And even though Arman just barely beat Oliveira, I don't want Ilya to fight Arman because I don't want one of them to eliminate each other from the title picture. Like, I want Islam to have to run the gauntlet of like the toughest contenders. I don't want him to fight a featherweight, then Poirier's top point, but he's a little older, and their styles. We kind of knew how that fight was gonna go, and then who do you fight after that? And then number 10. Like, come on, bro, fight some contenders, bro. Like, top contenders. And now I get it. The top contenders look exactly the same as they did 6 years ago. So it's not Islam's fault at all. And he is leagues above, better than ever. Like, people always talk about how lightweight is like the deepest division. And I see why they say that. There's a lot of talent, but it's kind of getting boring, no? Holloway is an interesting addition to it. Unfortunately, he just went out on a knockout, and the guy who just knocked him out is moving up into his division. And so that almost immediately makes it less compelling for him. But there's still some interesting matchups. Hooker, he already fought all these guys. Arman, I guess. Chandler, I'd like to see that. Take that to Nashville. There's some interesting matchups, but Pimlet's coming in, making it interesting. Fiziev still could do some work. I feel like Fiziev kind of got forgotten about because of his injury, but he was beating Gamrot. Anyway, I'd like to see Topuria face I'd like to say I can even do a Poirier. I don't want Poirier to go out on a loss, but I also don't want Poirier to lose. I want him to be a viable contender for Makhachev. So I say Poirier would be my number 1. And then they switched Chandler and Tsarukyan. Oh, that's the other thing I should have looked at. Oh, it is on there. They switched. We're going to get to that. Matter of fact, we'll get to that now. Okay, so Topuria and what did I say? And Poirier, right? That's a banger to go out on. Throw it in Louisiana. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Topuria's not going to Louisiana, but we'll see. Oliveira, I guess just give him the shot. International Fight Week. Tsarukyan has to get rematched up because Chandler and Pimlet. Padgy Pimlet. Makes a lot more sense. I think Pimlet was talking about this before the Chandler and Tsarukyan. I guess Chandler and Tsarukyan never got announced. It kind of was leaked by Red Corner, right? And it didn't make sense. So I guess this good that this is the thing now. It didn't make sense, but I was happy for Armin because I was like, okay, Armin should just get this win and then get his title shot back. Because I just want Armin to fight for the belt. More realistically, he's probably gonna fight Oliveira for the second time. Don't want that because I don't want either one of them. I kind of want Islam to have to fight all three of them. Like run like the meanest gauntlet. Run the gauntlet like Sukuna. I don't want anybody eliminating themselves from fighting Islam. And I don't want anybody getting pushed to the back and then Islam doesn't have to fight them because he's gonna run to another division. I don't want none of that going on. Run the gauntlet all in the same year. That's what I want. So who's that leave for Armin? If I get what I want, it's Charles Oliveira and Makhachev. Because here's the other thing. One of those three, Topuria, Oliveira, Sarukian, even though I know who I want it to be, one of them needs to fight Islam in May or June. We're not doing this elimination. He needs to fight somebody. He wants to fight. Keep him busy. Keep your champion active. If he's healthy, he brings in a lot of money. Stop it. Stop it. We're not doing this, oh, you need to find that you can throw him somebody like you do everybody else. Give him somebody. He needs to fight in June, and then he needs to fight in Abu Dhabi. Give him no choice, even if he's injured. I don't care. If he's injured, strip him. Strip him of the belt. And take away his legacy. No, don't do that for real. I'm just saying, like, come on, stop getting fucking injured. Stop training so hard. So what I would like is Armin. I mean, since everybody else is matched up, Topuria fights Poirier. Oliveira fights Makhachev, only because Armin. They already said Armin's not, unless they change their mind, which I would love. And then Armin versus Gamrot 2. No? Now I know what you're thinking. You just skipped over a viable name. That's actually probably who it should be. It should be Max. As you can see, like, there's one reason why like lightweight hurts for me, because it's like great champion. I want him to be champion. I want him to be champion. I want him to get his title shot. I want him to get his title shot. I want him to get his title shot. I can't. It's hard to be unbiased. It's just like bias versus bias. It should be Holloway. Why not? He knocked out Justin Gaethje. I'm glad they moved him from like fucking 9 or 7 they had him at after knocking out Gaethje when Gaethje was number 2. Or, yeah, 2, I think. And then moved him up to 5 somehow. I'm glad they did. Okay, great. At 55, you knocked out number 3. Give him number 1. That makes the most sense. How does that fight look? I don't know. That's actually a pretty interesting fight. I'd like to see Armin get that fight back against Gamrot because he was winning and I think he should have won. And it would make him even more compelling of a contender against Islam, especially since Gamrot lost against Dariush. That's a weird triangle, right? Like, it's like, what? That's MMA for you. It should be Holloway. Unless you're going to do Armin and Gamrot and then do Holloway and Moicano. Which is funny because Moicano was like, I don't want that problem. That could be fun. Then I get what I want. I get a whole lot of what I want. But what's more compelling for a number 1 contender fight? Armin and Gamrot or Armin and Holloway? It should be Armin. If I get what I want, it's Armin and Holloway. I'm going to go down the list. It's Armin and Holloway, Oliveira and Makhachev, Gaethje and Hooker, Poirier and Topuria. And then obviously we have, I already said Holloway and Armin, Dan and Gaethje. They're all matched up. Holloway here. And then, yeah, everybody's matched up. That's what I would want.